Before we get into the video, I want to tell you guys thank you for blowing up my last video. I think it's at like 10,000 last time I checked, something like that views. I really appreciate y'all for engaging in the video. I really enjoyed making it. I think it was a really great topic to cover. And now we back on it again with part two, because now we got a different situation with Don Staley from University of South Carolina, canceling some basketball games against BYU over the situation with the volleyball game with Rachel Richardson, one of the only black volleyball players on the Duke volleyball team, that she allegedly heard some racial slurs thrown at her during the game. So let's see what Coach Don Staley has to say, and then I'll give my 2 cents on it.
Well, it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction, obviously, because I don't knee-jerk anything. I vetted it. I talked to various people that was a part of the situation, and I just felt like, I slept on it a few nights, and I woke up with the same just gut feeling that I should not put our players in that situation. I did not discuss it with our players. I did tell them, was it yesterday? Yeah, Friday, that is going to be happening, and they nodded in affirmation. So, and I didn't do it to condemn BYU. I did not do that. This was a selfish decision, and I was only thinking about South Carolina women's basketball. And I didn't want to. I wanted to handle it on my own, which is, not hopefully involve anybody else that have to deal with it. Meaning our administrators. Although, Coach Tanner was really good about supporting it. I didn't want to bring up Rachel as well because I didn't want her to relive it. I just wanted to make sure that our players didn't have to endure that, and because I don't have the words. If something were to happen in that manner, I don't have the words to comfort them. So I'd rather just not put ourselves in that situation.
Okay. All right. Now it's time to dive into this conversation. First of all, I have a lot of respect for Don Staley. I think she's a great basketball coach for the South Carolina. They're a very successful program, and she's been very active in the black community for a lot of different things, social justice stuff. She's all that good stuff. She seems like a really genuine person. However, she's very, very wrong in this situation to cancel these games. One thing that she said, if y'all caught it, she said that if I'm paraphrasing, she said that she's not trying to it's not like a dig at BYU or something. What did she say?
And I didn't do it to condemn BYU.
Right, not. I didn't do it to condemn BYU, but you did though. But you did because if you didn't, the game would still be played because it's a totally different sport. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a different crowd, so you kind of are condemning the school, though. You are condemning the school. I know she thought probably long and hard about it. As I said before, man, these type of situations, you have to take them very, very seriously because stuff like this can ruin somebody's life. And this is why her lying about it, which to me, I was kind of on the fence about it a little bit at first, but now I think either she lied or she heard something from the crowd, but it wasn't a racial slur, and she took it as a racial slur with maybe her upbringing and her being around her parents and her godmother who is known for saying a lot of racist stuff online. Probably have been programming this little girl for the longest time. How white people are the devil and white people are this and that and this and she took it as that. It's still wrong though. Even if it's the second option where she heard something and she thought it was something else, it's still wrong. It's still wrong, man. This whole situation is messed up. Now these players are being prevented from playing the game over a non-existent threat, an imaginary threat that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at all. Look, I'll get vulnerable for a second. I went to private school for most of my life. Multiple sporting events, even in high school, volleyball games, football games, basketball games, all this type of stuff. I've heard a lot of racial stuff with me, my sister, and maybe only a few other black kids out of like 900 students, and it's only maybe 10 of us in the school. I done heard everything that you could think of. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I know what it is. But the difference was I had proof. When I had issues that I had with somebody or things like that, there was proof, hardcore evidence that I could use to back up my claims, and things, they weren't really dealt with the way that I wanted to. But at least I had the proof. You know what I mean? Like, this situation, there's been no proof whatsoever that this happened. She said that somebody called her a stud when she was serving. Can't prove that. She said that somebody from the crowd was throwing slurs towards her teammates when they were on the bench. There's no proof of that. So, what's supposed to happen from this situation? Now, BYU is getting looked at as this racist school over an incident that probably didn't happen. Honestly, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it didn't happen. I don't really think it happened. I don't really think it happened at all. I think she made it up. I think she made it up from honest, and this is gonna be crazy, but I think maybe she might have worked hand in hand with her godmother, because her godmother, I think, is running for re-election. I don't know what she's running for in Texas. I'll look that up afterward. I should know that. I really should know that, but I'm sorry I don't, y'all. But her godmother is running for some type of like political seat in Texas. She knows, her godmother, her goddaughter being on, a Duke volleyball team, being one of the only black girls on the team. It looks good for the family. It'll make her look good. She can use that in her political, campaign. And a story like this, and her defending her goddaughter and everything, it makes her look really good. It'll make her look really good in the polls, and people will look at her like, oh my gosh, she's this really great person, and she's fighting for the people and this and that. And then now she gets all these votes, she wins the election, and everything's great. It may be a plot from the beginning. It might have been a plot from the beginning. Who knows? All I know is consequences need to be handed out for what happened, because a lot of people are going to be affected by this incident. This by maybe students, faculty, questioning different people in the area, questioning, the values of the school. Other people from the outside looking at the school as if it's something that it's really not. It could affect enrollment, things like that. It can be a snowball effect in the long term. And at the end of the day, it seems like nothing's gonna happen to the girl at all. She'll just move on, and eventually this whole situation will just blow over, and she'll just go back to living a normal life. But I hate situations like this, because I've dealt with real racial stuff, like real situations, really being called the N-word, really being really getting into physical altercations over some racial stuff. So when I see somebody making this stuff up, it kind of, man, it makes me feel some type of way, because it's like there's people really dealing with this stuff on a daily basis that really have these issues for real, like in real life. It's not in their heads. They're not hearing voices. It's real stuff, and they really need real help. They need attention on their issues. But instead, we're putting all our energy and eyes on a situation that doesn't even exist. That's a problem. That's a major issue. And honestly, I think the girl at Duke University, Rachel Richardson, I think that she should, at the least, be suspended. At least be suspended. You know what I mean? Because if she would ever, fully admit that she lied about it, which I would respect her a little bit if she did come out and say that, but she probably won't, right? Because you're literally trying to ruin somebody's life by saying that somebody used racial slurs at you at the game. Because that person that got you know, the alleged suspect, that person's whole reputation can be ruined by incidents like this. You know what I mean? So hard to go back to school, hard to get a job, things like that, because your name is everywhere if this situation was real. But since it's not, you know, somebody needs to be held accountable for their actions. And I think Rachel definitely needs to be. You know, I don't want to ramble on too long, but I definitely think at the least she should be suspended. And at most, she should be you know, forced to transfer, lose her scholarship, because and it sounds harsh, but it's like you can't lie trying to ruin somebody's life and just not face any type of repercussions from that. That's not, to me, that's messed up. It's messed up. I look at it almost, and this might be a crazy comparison, but I almost look at it as, I almost look at it kind of like how like certain women, when certain women have lied on certain athletes about sexually assaulting them. That type of stuff, like, you're trying to literally ruin somebody's life, because that person's gonna go to jail for however long they go to jail to get out. They're what? Now their whole reputation is ruined over a lie. I don't. These type of situations, man, like all this race baiting and all this type of stuff, it just needs to be done with, man. And save our energy for real life situations and real, you know, in real time, things that really need our energy. You know what I mean? Like, there's no proof. If there's no factual evidence, there's no video, there's no nothing. You know, and no video in 2022 is crazy. You know what I mean? If there's no video in 2022, it's kind of suspect, man. But I'm rambling on. I'm gonna leave it there. Y'all just let me know in the comment section how y'all feel. You know, should she be suspended? Should she lose her scholarship? You know, I think I have a pretty good idea what you guys are gonna say, because from the last video, you guys were very, very adamant on her. You know, in the comment section about her losing her scholarship, about something happening to her. I was seeing the Juicy Smollett comments were killing. I was laughing. I laughed a lot, man. Like those Juicy Smollett comments were very, 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 very funny. But I'm gonna leave it there. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.